I was about to start journaling. Oh my god. My laptop says 888 right now. That's so weird because I put my phone on my keyboard so I could get light from my laptop, and I typed out 888. And like if you're like really into like spirituality and shit like that, that means that you're like on the right path. Oh my god. Anyways, okay. I was gonna say, I had like the idea to talk about this because I'm like really bad at planning videos or like planning things to talk about. Like when I get the an inkling of what something that like a realization I've had or like something I need to talk about, I need to do it right away or else I'm not ever gonna do it. So anyways, I'm not home right now, but I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing a few hours ago. But anyways, I was gonna say, why are autistic people called selfish so often? Like it's something that I've noticed for me, at least a lot of the time. Like I'm, but like I guess like I've been referred to as selfish in malicious and like non-malicious ways, but like mainly like kind of like non-malicious ways, more just like my mom being like, oh, like you can't only think about yourself right now, like you can't only like why do you only think about yourself, that kind of thing. But not in like a like to put me down, more just like let me bring this to your attention because this is some food for thought kind of thing. And it's she tells me this like a lot of the time, like even like outside of like direct situations where I'm where I may be viewed as like outwardly like only thinking about myself or whatever. She just says like in general, sometimes she's just like, oh, like I wish I could be more like you, like only think about like how I'm comfortable or only think about like, you know. And she says it, I know why she says it, because she's a people pleaser. Which like so are like a lot of people. So is like the average person. Most people are people pleasers in the sense of like they want others around them to be comfortable and they're always thinking about others. And like my mom was like raised that way, of course, like coming from like an Eastern European background, and you know being like the only daughter and then having like a brother. You know, traditionally it's like the girl has to like think about everybody and like take care of everyone, whatever. And oh girl, thank God it's not like that anymore. Well, I guess it is, but like we live in Canada, so like I don't know. Things are kind of different here than they were or they are in like Eastern Europe and stuff like that. But anyways, I was gonna say that like she mentions that a lot of the time. And like I guess like other people that are close to me have like also mentioned that like, oh, like you're really good at like knowing like about level, like you're like really good at like listening to yourself and knowing what you want and just knowing where you want to go and stuff like that. The lighting is terrible, by the way. Anyways, it doesn't matter. And like I realized that I'm not doing it on purpose. Like I am not trying to be selfish, or I'm not trying to be self-centered. I mean, like I'm not trying to only think about myself in certain situations or where it counts. Like I'm not, it's not something I'm like actively doing. And like for me it's more like it feels like my brain is like always in like survival mode and is always like hyper aware of like any form of discomfort and constantly scanning like how can I make myself more comfortable, like how can I get through this in like the least stressful kind of way, like how, you know. And I think like a lot of autistic people are like super hyper vigilant like that because we can't turn, there's no off switch to like filter things out. Like it's harder for us to adapt to things than the regular person because we're constantly scanning our environment for stressors. Also, like I also have obsessive compulsive disorder and ADHD. So it's like it just doesn't, there's no off switch. Everything is heightened for me. And I mean like for people like me. It's so to put other people first and like to not think about ourselves first, I feel like we're not able to do that, or at least we're not able to sustainably do that. It's a very forced, like, conscious act, and it's a strenuous one at that as well, where it's like, it's a major inconvenience when we are faced with having to put others before ourselves in like non-threatening situations, even, and just like daily situations where it's not even that big of a deal, but like it could be nice to put somebody before yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. And I feel, it's just hard when it's like, we're told that, like, it's brought to our attention as if we're doing it on purpose, or as if it's like something that we are, that it's just like a character flaw, that it's like, oh, like, I wish you'd think more about others. Like, you can't always think about yourself. Like, you have to adapt. You have to think about other people. And it's just like, bro, like, yes, I would love to, but I would like to feel okay first before thinking about if anybody else feels okay. Because if I'm not in like a settled state, if I'm like putting other people before me while I'm actively uncomfortable, that's just like that's like a formula. That's a formula for like shutdown, for disappearing, like quite literally, like ceasing to exist. Like, I've never been able to do that. And if I've ever done that, I could not sustain it. And I felt worse after, because I wasn't actively considering my comfort. And yeah, it is something that I always do. And I know like a lot of other like autistic people, neurodivergent people have the same thing going on. It's like, it's not like we're choosing to be difficult. It's not like we're choosing to not think about others. It's more like our sense of balance and okayness has to be maintained actively, or like we can't let ourselves slip like that, because the consequences are way worse than they would be for a regular person. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we gotta like be very intentional with everything that we're doing, and not allow ourselves to like slip up in that sense, in that regard of like self-care and like putting ourselves first and actively thinking about, okay, what do we need in this? Because then we can't turn our brains off. We are constantly dealing with the consequences of our actions. Everybody is, but I mean, like, autistic people with like heightened sensitivities that cannot filter things out, it's worse. The consequences are worse. So making room for unfortunate consequences constantly is like repeatedly shooting ourselves in the foot. So it's not like we're trying to be difficult. It's not like we're trying to be selfish, or we don't care about putting others first. It's always ourselves. It's like, no, it's like, if we want to feel just as balanced as anyone else or close to that, we need to actively be monitoring ourselves and putting ourselves first and trying to fit into a neurotypical world that just does not accommodate us. And yeah, it's just really interesting when I've been told that in the past, and I just could not understand. I'm like, I don't even understand where the selfishness is. Like, I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm not trying to be inconsiderate. I just cannot think. My brain like turns off whenever there's like a threat to my, I don't know, I guess like daily comfort, like what I'm used to. Whenever there's change or whatever, it's like, girl, like I can't think about anything else. I need to constantly make sure I'm unbalanced. I'm balanced. I'm not doing anything that's throwing me off, or else it's just going to be worse for me. Again, it's like shooting myself in the foot. And I think that I guess like the positive of this, I guess the positive of being like autistic for me, which again, like I didn't know I was autistic for most of my life. Like I only got diagnosed recently, and I was like self-diagnosed for like a year and a half before that, which only happened after realizing that I was dealing with like autistic burnout without knowing it. like a year and a half ago. But anyways, I was gonna say that I guess the positive aspect of that would be the fact that people, like I've been told a lot by people, I guess, like stating their admiration for the fact that I know exactly what it is I want to do with my life. Like I know where I want to go. I know what I want to be doing. That I have such a clear-cut vision from such a young age, because I'm only 21. But again, like I've known what I wanted to do for a good amount of time, for years already. I started making my own music in 2023, so it's been like 3 years. But before that, like I was doing like art, like visual arts. I still am, but I mean, I was focusing on that mainly, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna, be an artist online. And I guess like people have like expressed their admiration quite often at the fact that like, wow, like you have such a clear understanding of who you are and like what you want to do with your life. And like, you're so ambitious, you're so disciplined. And like, and they ask like, how do you do it? Like, how you're so young. Like I'm like, older people have even like told me like, how do you even like how do you know that? Like, how do you have that sense of self, such a strong sense of self? And my answer to that is, again, I don't know. I think it's the fact, again, that I think autism is a blessing in that regard. Autism is a blessing in general. I don't think that it's something that should be, I don't think it's a negative thing having autism. I think it's a superpower in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it's debilitating as well. But in a lot of ways, it's also a superpower. And I guess it's a superpower in this regard because I've just been, like my entire life, I'm not able to filter shit out. If I am uncomfortable, if I don't like something, I am getting as far away from that as possible. And if I try to stay in the situation where I'm near that stressor, where I'm near what is actively making me uncomfortable or something that that I dislike, that I'm uninterested in, I physically start like shutting down. And it's not a conscious thing. Like literally I will start getting sick. Like I can't sit through things that I'm not interested in. That's like the main, I guess, like that's like the foundation of it. I can't sit through things that I'm not immediately super interested in. And I guess the deeper levels of that goes like, I can't sit through, so that's the first level. And then the second level would be like I can't, like I actually physically cannot sit through them. Like I start getting sick. Like my body like rejects things that I just don't identify with. So I guess it's like, it goes more extreme than just like, I'm not interested, I don't want to do it. It's more like I literally cannot do it if it's not something I can wrap my head around. If it's not something I actually enjoy or I want to be around, if it's something that's making me uncomfortable, I'm gone. You know what I mean? But I guess like with neurotypical people, their filter, they have a filter actually. They're able to filter discomfort out a little bit better. They're able to filter out background noises when they're having a conversation with someone at a restaurant. Like that's an example, but it goes so much deeper than that. They're able to filter out life and discomfort, I guess, in general, that better than somebody that has no filter. And a lot of neurotypicals, autistic people at least, we don't have a filter. We don't have that type of filter. We see everything, and if there's something around us that is talking too loud, and by that I mean like metaphorically, if there's something that is making us uncomfortable in our environment, we go away, we move away. If you're a neurotypical person and there is a stressor near you, there's something that is making you uncomfortable, sure, you'll leave. But a lot of the time, you'll be able to filter it out. Like you won't even, it takes you a longer time to see when, it takes you longer to notice what's going on around you, and to spot what you don't identify with. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this properly, but like, that's like the best way I can describe it. So I guess having autism is a superpower in that regard. You're able to develop such a strong sense of self, like more often than not, because you are unable to withstand anything that you're not interested in, like at a basic level. You're not able to withstand things that just don't align with you. You can't sit through that. You at least can't sit through that and still be well off after, like, mentally. But yeah, so I guess, like, that's my answer for that. And I guess that also ties into the whole selfish thing. It's just that we have a strong sense of self because we can't filter out bullshit, so we just distance ourselves from the bullshit. And bullshit meaning absolute negativity, like absolute, like, negatives, but also just things that we just don't care for. So again, what do you come out the other side with being somebody with a very strong sense of self, because you know what you don't like and you stick to what you like and you find the core of what you like and you move towards that. Whereas I guess a lot of neurotypical people have trouble with that because their brains are just able to filter out bullshit, if that makes sense. Or they're just they're able to filter out bullshit while continuing to sit in the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it's this, that goes for also being able to be in service mode for other people and putting other people before yourself. And I guess being a people pleaser or being a pushover or whatever, same thing. You're able to sit in the discomfort, even if you're uncomfortable. I'm not saying neurotypical people don't get uncomfortable. Obviously, everybody gets uncomfortable. I'm saying that it's just that the tolerance is higher for whatever reason. I don't know why. I am not neurotypical, so I could not tell you why. I'm just speaking from my experience and then what I've seen. Yeah. Anywho, I hope that made sense. Bye.